It's not. All right. Thanks, guys, for waiting for me. To turn on the volume. Also drives me crazy, too. I can't listen to it. All right. If the music's too loud, if it feels like it's imbalanced with my voice or like whatever, let me know and I can just crank it down. It's fine. It's just for fun. I honestly, I'm not going to explain why I'm all dressed up. I was supposed to have an interview on another YouTube channel, a much bigger one today. That fell through. So here I am, and at literally the exact perfect right time, because boy, oh boy, what is going on with Bitcoin? I mean, I literally had a live stream on the Coin Bureau trading channel yesterday. When we were up here, I went to sleep. What did you guys do? What did you guys do? In the last 5 minutes, what? No, not the last 5 minutes, last 30 minutes, one single candle, we saw Bitcoin crash down here to 91K. What is going on? Why is it crashing? And is that it? The reality is probably not. I was hoping it was. If we go over here to CoinGlass, I mean, this is ridiculous. And I want to refresh this to make sure it's up to date. Yikes. In the last hour, 433 million longs liquidated. The majority of them being Bitcoin longs, which is really, really, really interesting. The other thing here, this is painful. Absolutely painful. I'm smiling, but it's just because I'm in disbelief, honestly. In the last little bit of time that we had here, look at all these on OKX too. These are all liquidations, $1 million or more. All these green ones are liquidated longs. All of them happening literally in the last 30 minutes or so. But this is, like, we got 3, 4, 6, 13, 15, 16, 18, 22, 24, let's say 25, 26, 36, 39, 40, 42 million. I'd say like 40, 45 million, maybe, if we're going to average it up. $45 million liquidated in longs. And these are all really good entries too. This is the worst part. $91,954. That, I'd be pissed. That literally right there. Literally right at the very bottom. Let's see. Oh, I'm sorry. I wanted to do perps. Because it went down here to 89. Of course. And this is exactly what happens when you're using leverage. What's going on? Didn't we just celebrate yesterday? Can't you already see the memes with Leonardo, was it Leonardo da Vinci? Leonardo DiCaprio? Where he's there and Gatsby is all happy. Yesterday at 100K, and then him in that movie, whatever, where he's with the dogs and he looks all terrible in the Arctic. Today at 100K. Okay, in all seriousness, what's going on? Now, every single day, that was a weird way to talk, and this is not planned. I was not planning on doing a live stream whatsoever because I literally just did one yesterday. But what I want to do today is something a little bit different. Where are my buttons? There are my buttons. On the Better Traders Club Discord server, I do a lot of work. I put a lot of effort and energy into a lot of what we're doing. But one of the biggest things that I do is here in market analysis. Every day, 4 days a week I do written, and 1 day a week I do a video. But this goes back tons and tons of updates literally every single day. I'm watching the markets every single day. And I started talking a little bit about what's going on. Then I realized I'm just going to do this on YouTube because it's more fun. I have to write it up anyway, so it's like twice the amount of work, but it's way more fun to do this anyway. So let's go over here to TradingView. Let's talk about one thing that I mentioned in the live stream yesterday. Yeah, this totally is messed up. Absolutely messed up. But one thing that I hinted at, and I just didn't want to say it because I didn't want to be that guy. I didn't want to rain on everyone's parade. This is the fun part about being a trader and having to bring, or rather break, bad news. I mentioned that Bitcoin has a very strong level of resistance at $103,611. The reality is that it just slightly pierced above it yesterday, or rather today. Today's candle's still going, but only by $36. This to me is not a pierce. This is a test. And this test was very much respected. That is literally like an execution style smackdown. So much so that we have another TBT bearish divergence that's going to print on today's candle, unless there's some magic amount of liquidity that's going to shoot in the market and this is going to close green on the day. But this is a pretty ugly candle. It's hard to ignore that. Plus, this is also the first time that we've seen the price of Bitcoin cross or pierce inside of the daily TBO cloud. So we got 1, 2, 3 bearish signs in this amazing rally that we've seen so far. It's a little bit discouraging. It's a little bit of a bummer. It's not over though. There was significant resistance here. I hinted at it, but I didn't want to rain on everyone's parade. So let's talk about a couple of things to go a little bit further. If this is actually the top, this is a very disappointing top. And I don't think it is the top. I think that it's just a first test and a rejection. The fact that we pierced above $100,000 yesterday also felt very artificial and fake. I don't know about you, but I think volume is insanely important whenever we're making any decisions. And if we go to the biggest exchange, and I have to go back over here to the 4-hour time frame. When we actually pierced above 100K yesterday morning, for me, almost 24 hours ago, it's crazy, and what a difference a day makes. That's a really nice song. We saw a decent amount of volume, $3 billion of volume, but looking at the index, like, it wasn't that big a deal. Like, I feel like going up to $100,000, there should have been so much more volume. And going back over here, go to my windows, I was expecting, we have to go like this. I was expecting yesterday, no, I have to do it like this, don't I? I want to see yesterday's price action. Nope, 4 hours. Okay. So yesterday we had this nice liquidation that happened for shorts, and I was expecting this number right here to be so much bigger, but it was weird. I don't know about you, but I was shocked at how small the short side liquidation was yesterday. You would think that Bitcoin breaking above $100,000 should trigger so many short sellers, but we only saw, what, 130 million? 130 million shorts liquidated yesterday? And right now, we're looking at something like, what is this again? I can't even remember the number. It's something crazy. $430 million of leveraged longs. Something's not adding up here. Something is not adding up at all. Volume has increased. Yes, people are buying late. I was expecting to wake up today to news outlets talking about Bitcoin being above $100,000, being this amazing event, and This is only making us look bad, Bitcoin. Can you just do us a solid and go right back up? Because this is exactly what people don't want. Okay, so when we look at the charts on the daily time frame, the bearish signs that we have, and you go back to this, the bearish signs that we have is that Bitcoin smacked the 1.272 Fibonacci extension level. We have another TBT bearish divergence signal, which is now identified as a cluster, which is why it looks like that red tab. And the price pierced the cloud. Now, this doesn't mean that we're done. I need to get back on track. It doesn't mean that we're done necessarily. And we need to go a little bit deeper because there are two things. And I need you to help me stay on track with this because I am getting excited, and I have so many thoughts and ideas that I want to share with you, okay? But the two main things that I want to share with you are dominance shifts, because this is going to be a big deal today, and the multiple factor effect. Okay, these are the two main things I want to talk to you about today. These are what I've been talking about this so much on the club, but I want to share this with everyone else so that way you get an idea of what I'm looking at, what I'm paying attention to. So first off, price action. Yeah, it's a little bit of a bummer. It's not feeling that great right now, to be honest, but this is just a little bump in the road. Now, if you remember the video that I've shared on the Coin Bureau Trading channel a couple weeks ago, I talked extensively about how we should be expecting a pullback. Now, is this the pullback? I don't think so. If we go back to exactly 4 years ago, again, it's really odd that we're seeing almost the same exact price action. Almost the same. Here we go. We have a push here, testing, and then it's a rejection of a 9% candle. And then we chopped after that. The price fell inside of the cloud, by the way, too. And even before this happened, on November 26th, this is our first main pullback. So 16%. Then the next one that happened that was significant right here, it's also 17%. Then we had a major one of 27%. Right here, I would measure that. So that's also like 23%. I think that 16% is probably what we're going to be seeing this time around. But it's interesting to note that we saw the same type of volatility 4 years ago. So weird, so strange. So if we zoom ahead to where we are, literally seeing the same exact stuff. So weird. Okay. Even though the price has pierced the cloud, it doesn't mean that we're going down from here. It doesn't mean that this is the market top. The main reason why, aside from dominance levels, and I've been sharing this a lot, is that this slow line on the TBO cloud continues to point up. This is the barometer of the market, the bull market in our case. As long as this is angling upward, we're good. Now, that means that we will probably have periods of volatility like this. And this latest batch of volatility was an 11% wick to wick move, which is pretty big. It's a lot bigger than this move down here. So there's a ton of volatility as soon as we crossed above 100K. No one wants to see that. But the reality is that we're still macro bullish. On the weekly, we're still macro bullish. On balance, volume is bullish. Volume is bullish. RSI is bullish. There's really nothing to freak out about. It's just this initial scare of a pullback. Okay. Now, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me make sure. Okay. Because we've seen this major volatility event. I'm laughing because this is stuff I've been sharing for a while, guys, and it's literally playing out perfectly. While we saw this support line here on RSI for stablecoin dominance, it's combined stablecoin dominance between USDT and USDC. It broke this line right there, as you could see in this zone. Let me go back to that. It broke it. But the reality right here is that, gosh, it had a reset. And to be honest, this is actually good. Well, it's a good bullish reversal signal, because if we have consecutively higher lows on daily RSI, that's a really clear sign that we're probably going to see a reversal of some sort. So when we look at this, the actual price chart of combined stablecoin dominance, I mean, we just got another push up here and we wicked right into the TBO fast line, just like we did when we had that other pullback in late November. And I want to make sure, good. Okay. No one's mentioned that music's too loud. It's killing me. It's so distracting, but that's my mind. Like, I can't help it. So the fact that we saw it shoot right back up, it's pretty big actually for stablecoin dominance. But is the macro trend still bearish? Yes, absolutely. Is the macro trend for Bitcoin still bullish? Yes, absolutely. Was that a really bumpy right there. I mean, was that really awful? Yes, it was. Now, what I'm surprised about in all of this is that Bitcoin dominance is not increasing yet. That's the weird part, because when we've seen these dominance, or rather these spikes in the past happen, usually we see Bitcoin dominance have a positive effect. If we go back here to Sunday, December 6th, so this is exactly 4 years ago. Well, it's the 6th for me, it's right here. For you, it's still the 5th, but for me, it's the 6th because I'm in the future. But usually when we see volatility like this, we see Bitcoin dominance increase. And during this period, Bitcoin dominance increased by 15% over the next month. It actually moved up a ton. Note, it did have a pullback really similar to what we're seeing right now, but it moved up a lot. So now we have to readjust the scale. We're super overextended from the fast line. It's a good thing because we want to see Bitcoin dominance fall. We want to see stablecoin dominance continue to stay bearish because that allows others to be bullish. And lo and behold, others are actually moving right now, which is so weird. It's absolutely bonkers what's happening right now. So I want to talk about this to try to make sense of it real quick. And I'm just going to make this as simple as I can. Dominance, and I say this, I'm going to say this as many times as it takes. Dominance is like a pie. This is just a coaster, but it's like a pie. And Bitcoin dominance is bigger than half of the total crypto market cap's dominance, right? So if that dominance level continues to increase and increase, then that means that Bitcoin is more aggressively taking that big share of the total crypto market cap. When Bitcoin is bullish, whether or not we have pullbacks or pumps, usually when Bitcoin's bullish, Bitcoin dominance increases. But as soon as Bitcoin dominance starts to decrease, that's a bullish sign for alts. When there's volatility, usually alts will suffer. And that actually happened literally just 30 minutes ago with a lot of positions. Even a position I have a bot running right now for Masa. I'll show you the chart for Masa right now. I didn't say this on the other channel, on the Coin Bureau trading channel yesterday, because I didn't want to have people go and like freak out about stuff like that. I'd be like, why are you picking this coin? I'm just using this for the sake of an example. But I've been running an ASAP bot and as soon as possible DCA bot to accumulate Masa, and have been for the last couple of days. It's been a really good bot since the beginning of the week. It's been running, I think I turned it on late, but so far it's up 22%, but I've been accumulating Masa, which is great. So the point being that when Bitcoin dumps, small caps, coins like this, like they can't keep up. They just can't do it. And usually they will dump way more than Bitcoin does. Bitcoin dropped in one 5-minute candle, I think 7%. This dropped twice as much. And this is the multiple factor effect. Now, when we look at a lot of these coins over here and we compare, well, what did these coins do if Bitcoin dropped? And again, I need to get that number burned into my brain before I go over and over and over with this. 6%, then we should be seeing greater amounts here. Wow, Ethereum actually is killing it. Solana. So this is explaining the market right now to me a lot more. This is amazing. So these are our majors. Let's go down the list to our minors to see how these are doing. Oh yeah, ACT is pumping. Good. I have a position in this right now. So the market doesn't seem to care. Oh, I love it. This is great. I was so expecting to see so many of these coins just absolutely obliterated, but meme coins are actually pumping right now. They're actually taking this in stride and shooting up higher and higher and higher. Now I know why MOG is, because the bullish news about Coinbase listing all its stuff. Goat, Apu, Peanut. Peanut's even doing well. That's incredible. Oh, because it was on a run. Usually, wow, this is so unusual. Oh, I love this. Usually what we see happen is when Bitcoin dumps, we'll see coins dump even farther. So we saw Phantom dump, but it quickly recovered. Okay, so, oh man, this is so interesting. Okay, I'm just taking this in because I haven't looked at this. I'm literally just looking at charts live with you guys. Wow. Holy moly. Okay. All right. Now that I've collected my thoughts and had multiple moments with myself looking at charts, what I'm seeing right now is a massive shift in what we've seen in the 2020 market. Bitcoin leading the way, leading the charge. And the multiple factor effect is essentially when Bitcoin has a dip in the road like we just saw, usually other charts will overreact, especially low caps. They're going to be freaked out about what Bitcoin does. However, all the charts that I was just looking at, not all, but a lot of those meme coin charts and a lot of charts that are hot or in demand right now, they're pumping. Why are they pumping? This chart right here says everything you need to know. Absolutely everything you need to know. If we see a dump for Bitcoin, this right here was Bitcoin's dump. Why in the world did others pump 1.84%? Why is it moving up higher? What is this telling us about the crypto market right now? And this is going to blow your mind. Right now, the crypto market is run by degens. I know, it's a big shock. You didn't see that coming. But the reality is that if I'm looking at Bitcoin dumping 6% in a 5-minute candle and triggering $300 million of liquidations in the last hour just for Bitcoin alone, and then we see others recovering like this, others dominance moving up. I mean, look at the crypto market caps. Total just got wiped out, absolutely nuked. But look, as soon as we go further down, others had this little bit like a little baby cough, like a baby deer cough, and then it's bounced right back up. It literally is going back up. This market is so ridiculously focused on others right now. It's amazing. So this is 100% confirming exactly what I'm seeing in the comments. Yeah, one happy looking papa. This is confirming the video that I just put out recently about alt season. If Bitcoin dominance is dropping and others is pumping, especially during a volatile Bitcoin moment where it goes up above $100,000 and it shoots right back down to 90K, what? And others are just going, whatever. And we see all of these other charts outperforming. I mean, the fact that Solana is pumping right now to me is hilarious. The fact that it's totally unfazed right now is hilarious. It tells me that the market doesn't care, or rather, retail traders don't care about Bitcoin going above 100K. My guess is that many traders don't have exposure to Bitcoin right now. Look at Sui pumping right now. What the deleted expletive? Good grief. Absolutely massive. Wow. So the fact that all of these major coins are just excelling right now and they're totally killing it is honestly incredible to me. Okay, we need to look over here on CoinGecko for just a quick minute. Even just the last hour, if we sort, yeah, 8% for Athena, Tao's up 4%, Phantom's up 4%. This is crazy. Usually, again, I must sound like I'm a super duper old person, okay? Because I've been doing this for quite a while. But the reality is that this is just nuts. In the past, back in the old days, when Bitcoin dumps, everything pukes and it stays on the floor and it gets literally smacked down. And what I'm seeing right here is a complete like FU to the old way of doing things. This proves to me that the market cares way more way more about alts than Bitcoin right now. And that makes so much sense from a trader's perspective. It makes so much sense from an investor's perspective, because how are you going to make a ton of money with Bitcoin right now as a trader? You're not. You're going to make money in the long run, like Michael Saylor style. But I almost wonder if there's a big mentality shift in the crypto market where new crypto traders or relatively new people that have been here for like the last 2 years, I wonder if people are looking at Bitcoin like S&P. It's like, why would you buy the S&P? It's boring. Whereas you could buy some medical company stock, you could buy some penny stock and probably 10x your trade over a week or a day, depending on, how lucky you get. And that's what it feels like things are doing right now. And it's a very weird mentality shift, honestly, because I'm seeing two completely different lines of thought on X and on YouTube. I see lots of OG people like Ben Cowan. I see Michael Saylor talking about Bitcoin all the time. I see lots of people talking about Bitcoin. I talk about Bitcoin a lot as well. And I still think that it's incredibly valid and important to own a little bit of Bitcoin. Everyone that asks me about it, I tell them you should try to have and hold at least 0.01 BTC. 1/100th of a Bitcoin will set you up for life. You be in the 5% club. That's what the people that do math and they think all that stuff, right? There isn't enough. There isn't enough Bitcoin to go around for the entire world. So maybe people are looking at it like, well, I won't be able to accumulate that, but I could buy this funny meme coin of a dog that has the head of a frog and it's sitting on a log, and I'm going to make $1 million off of this. I feel like that's where the market is, because if we're seeing this big of a shift towards alts all of a sudden after Bitcoin dumps, this tells me that the market's kind of done with Bitcoin in a weird way, in a very sad way. Okay. Let me just take a quick look at the comments real quick. Sorry, I don't have a fun way to put them up here. Oh, why is that so low? Okay. My TBO indicator doesn't show the same symbols. Why? Okay, I don't know what symbols you're talking about. But it depends. Oh, you're talking about these. That's not the TBO. That's TBT divergence. Like going back to Bitcoin. And it's actually going to close up. It might actually close green on the day. What an ugly candle, though. So bad. But this is not the TBO. See how that went away? By the way, just so you know, indicators like this, like TBT divergence, it's not repainting. People that don't understand indicators don't get it. Repainting is when you've printed the daily candle and you go back and it's like something has changed and it wasn't there before. Whereas at the end of the candle close, if this closes red and it closes further down, then it'll definitely print another TBT bearish divergence signal. But that's another indicator. That's a different one. Wow, so weird. I'm happy to see that Bitcoin's recovering. That's a good sign, but that was super unexpected. Okay. The TBT divergence, you're asking the same question. Okay, TBT divergence is in the pro tier of the Better Traders Club subscription. So I keep it up there because it's a really, really good indicator. It's actually the secret sauce that we use for our TBT signals and my old top 10 and the other signals I used to do before. It's ridiculously fantastic. Okay. Is selling 10% of Bitcoin to retain profits recommended? I'm not selling yet. I personally feel like it's way too early to sell BTC. I have much, much, much higher targets. Personally, I'm looking at selling somewhere around 176,000 or so. That's where I'm looking to take profits, the majority. So we still have about 80% to go, in my opinion. All right, good. So we talked about both of those things. Now, usually in my, let's see. Okay, yeah. Yes, TB, I agree with you. Yeah, people are rotating into alts. Now, I would be depriving you of the true club experience if I don't actually do the full thing. And I'm getting all over the place just because things are happening live, and this is literally an exciting day. So I'm a little bit distracted. I want to talk about a couple of, good Lord, look at that. Wow. So I need to look at the other charts that I usually review, because I don't just focus on crypto, even though I love trading crypto. It's the only market I trade. I do pay attention to TradFi. I do pay attention to other metrics. So I would be cheating you out of a good experience, out of a good time, if I don't actually talk about all these other charts. So Bitcoin Historical Volatility Index on BitMEX is awesome. You guys got to be watching this chart. BVOL 7D, okay? Now, I did not foresee this happening. But of course, this pumped crazy when Bitcoin dumped. That's exactly what this does. Now, the truth is that this dump came out of nowhere, and I was not expecting it whatsoever because Bitcoin historical volatility has been dropping ever since the 17th of November. And if we go back to look at a lot of these charts, a lot of them have been doing really, really well over the last 18 bars, over the last almost 3 weeks. So now that Bitcoin historical volatility has shot up suddenly, now we're starting to look a little similar, right? Now this is looking like this candle way over here on GASP August 5th. This is when the Nikkei crashed and it caused Bitcoin to crash as well down below 60K in a flash crash event. That was pretty brutal. So now we're seeing a pretty significant daily candle that will close likely up 41%. That's massive. I expect this to continue moving up higher. However, see this box that I have right here? This is a termination zone or like a reversal zone. So usually when we see Bitcoin historical volatility get above about this 8.8 or like 9 on this level, on this chart, that's typically when we see a turning point. And when Bitcoin volatility drops, this is typically an excellent time for us to be trading against Bitcoin, like BTC pairs, or trading alts. Now, alts are obviously doing just fine right now. They don't need this chart to tell them what to do, obviously. But this is how the chart has worked in the past, and it continues to do really well. There's a chance that Bitcoin historical volatility index will continue to move up. It only needs to move up about 15%, which is pretty easy. It's already started the momentum. My personal feeling is that while this candle is ugly, I have a hard time seeing this not continue to be ugly. Again, anytime we pierce the daily cloud, I expect us to close right around where we are, 97K. But over the next day, maybe even over the weekend, we might see Bitcoin drag down in here and we might consolidate sideways. Yesterday's pump to 100K took me by surprise because my expectation was for Bitcoin to range sideways until about December 20th. So moving between 99K and down here at about 91K. So far we have our range. So far things are doing what I was expecting, except, you know, with the push to above $100,000. Now, Grayscale Bitcoin Trust is going to have a little bit of an after hours dip, just like IBIT will as well. We need to be looking at several other metrics though on the TradFi side just to see if there's anything else at play. Okay. The Dixie, which is the US dollar index. This is a boring chart, but we need to be paying attention to it because dollar controls a lot of what traditional finance pays attention to, and Bitcoin, crypto not so much, but Bitcoin, yes, will pay attention to this. So we saw an incredible rally on the Dixie when we got this TBT bullish divergence cluster, all of those in a tight range. That's a nice bottoming signal, worked extremely well. We saw the Dixie shoot up 7.75%. It finally topped out at 108 with breakouts, but these breakouts are an ugly breakout. This is not a good breakout cluster at all, which is why I was expecting this to be the top, which is why I have it rounded there. And so far it's retreated back inside the cloud. This is a good sign. We want to see the dollar index fall because this is going to be bullish for stocks, bullish for the Dow, bullish for the S&P, bullish for NASDAQ, all those TradFi indices and the good stuff to trade, the goods. Now, we're not seeing a strong trend yet on the weekly, but it's getting really close and I don't like it. It's too close for comfort because we're seeing a real shift, a real change. Because if the dollar index continues to climb up higher, that means that the dollar is gaining strength. That means that world currencies, fiat currencies are going to suffer as the dollar increases in value. And it usually means that stocks go down. Given that it's an election year, given that 4 years ago we saw a massive rally in the stock market and for Bitcoin and for crypto, I don't think this is going to happen. And I don't know if this is really going to have a massive effect, but I am watching this and paying attention to what's happening with this chart. Now the S&P is doing its thing. I'm not really worried about it. Honestly, S&P is headed up here to 63.38. That's the next overlapping Fibonacci zone. So it's already moved up 3% from there. It's only 8%. It's not a massive move, but I do expect there to be a bit of a pause or some turbulence there, just because the last time we had overlapped values right here, we have the 2 and the 1.272. It respected it and tested it 3 times before getting rejected, but eventually it breaks above. It might take, 2 months or so to do it, but it'll do it. So I expect this level to be hit probably by the end of the year. There should be some sort of like Santa Claus rally that usually happens for TradFi, which will feed over into crypto. The Dow Jones is doing fine, not really worried about it again, because the slow line is angling up a lot. So there's no fear in this market as far as I can tell. And the price is above the cloud as well. Like that looks ridiculously strong. Nothing wrong with that. The NASDAQ is on its way up to the 1.618 Fibonacci extension, which from when I called it is an 8% move. It's already more than half the way there. So this is exactly what happened, by the way, over here. We have a nice TBO breakout cluster. It's almost perfect 3 in the row. We saw a retrace back. I said 3 in the row. No, 3 in a row. We saw a retrace back to the fast line right there. And that move from here, this TBO springboard bounce all the way up to this top is about 12%. So if we're looking at this target of a termination zone, which is the 1.618, we're looking at about 9% from this TBO springboard bounce. So I think that's realistic. FANG index. This one is pumping a lot. Again, I know that there are bearish signals and stuff like this, but TBT divergence, you can't just look at it alone and go, okay, well, it's going to dump from there. It will eventually tell you where it's going to dump, but that doesn't mean that it's it. Because if we don't use trend trading tools like the TBO and pay attention to the slow line right there, we're missing out, because the trend is insanely strong for the FANG index. And because Netflix, I'm looking at FANG, Facebook, Apple, Netflix, Google, or Meta, all this stuff, and it has a plus, there's other stuff, but these are all technology companies. It's the end of the year. They're going to sell subscriptions. They're going to do well on ad revenue. Meta and Google will. Netflix still maybe they'll have more people signing up, although a lot of the stuff on their platform stinks right now. Apple, they'll probably get some sales, or if not, when you have a busted pair of Apple AirPods Pro, they're going to just make you buy a new one, because if you pay to get them repaired, it's going to cost as much as a new pair. So dumb. Nvidia is back above the cloud, but again, it's having a lot of volatility, but as long as the slow line is angling up, it's a strong chart, not worried about it. The VIX could be bottoming out here and having a reversal. Notice that we have a slightly higher RSI. That's a good sign that we might see the VIX shoot up just a little bit, but that depends on a pullback on the S&P. Gold is boring, and I love it. Gold is absolutely boring, and I've been talking about this for a long time. Now, when there was a little bit of fear and panic in the market because of tensions rising in the Middle East, it was moving up. But as soon as those fears were assuaged, that's how you say the word, we saw it dump. And now it's been stabilizing, which is great. And this is exactly what we want to see for gold. We want to see it stable. We want to see it just moving sideways, no fear in this chart whatsoever. Now, I see some people writing in the comments. If you have charts, I see a couple of you writing charts you'd like me to check out. I'm totally happy to do that. How long have I been going for? Okay, I'm only going to be on for like 15 more minutes, because I actually have to write this out and share it with the club, as well as film content and do everything else I got to do today. So now I'm happy that I could be here on the call with you guys. On the call, see? I'm not on a call with you. You're on a live stream with me. So let me take a look at some of these. And by the way, a lot of you are watching right now, but I only got 30 likes? How is that? It's okay. I understand people are like, oh, this is fun. I like this. Is great. And you just click off. I get it. But if you really do like this, and you want me to do this, hit the like button. I would really appreciate it. That gives me the confirmation that, okay, I should keep doing these. This is helpful. So let me check all this stuff out. All right, Ethereum. I did not look at Ethereum, and that's fair. So let me go back up to talk about Ethereum. Now, the reason why I look at Ethereum here on Binance's chart ETH/USDT on Binance. The reason why I focus on this is because this is the exchange that has the most trading volume for Ethereum. But I also have this one here for Kraken. So I just want to make sure that you guys understand why I do this. The reason why is because Binance launched in late 2017, whereas Kraken has been around for years and years and years, and it has all of Ethereum's recorded price history. Don't you wish you could have bought Ethereum down here at 50 cents? Like absolutely massive, right? Except for like the last, year. It's been such a bad chart. So let's go over here to this because this is better. Now we have an open CME gap. Unless, I was expecting this dump to be a lot more devastating, to be honest. And I was hoping that we would just get a flush down there, but that's a big flush down 20%. We do have a looming CME gap that could get filled before Ethereum starts to move up higher. But the reality is that we're seeing lots of good signs finally for Ethereum. It's been such a snooze fest compared to everything else. But we see the 30-day moving average, or the 30 period smooth moving average, the 30 SMA here for TBT based to quote, which is a free indicator, by the way. Where is it? Here we go. So you can just download, or not download this, you add it to your TradingView account. You just hit the rocket and then you can add it to your favorites. It's just a free indicator, and it automatically converts how much Ethereum is being bought and sold, the base currency, to how much that actually is in quote currency. And it's really, really helpful for trading. So the smooth moving average is way, way, way up. Volume is way, way, way up. Price is not. But there is interest. I know that the spot ETF is really slow and really small compared to the Bitcoin spot ETF, but there is still interest in Ethereum. The best thing Ethereum has going for it right now is that it's in the early signs of a breakout. While it's a really messy and detached TBO breakout cluster, it does have 3 TBO breakout symbols relatively close together. And even though the price is super boring, you can see right here the slow line is just starting to angle up. See that part right there? That's a great sign. As long as this is going to angle up, and if it can continue to, the stronger, or rather the more vertical the angle, the stronger the trend. So it's actually a really, really, really good thing. The only thing that Ethereum has going against it right now is it has TBO resistance here at 38.78 and again at 39.34. So this level of $4,000 is going to be relatively tricky for Ethereum just because it's been such a pain point over the last year, give or take. Now, the nice thing about price action, and let me make sure that this is the Pico top that I've got. Nope, that is. So the nice thing about Ethereum right now is that Wednesday's candle, not yet, well, 2 days ago for me, but for you yesterday, we actually moved above. We see lots of these pierces right above resistance, which is great. Anytime you see a price level being pierced, notice that the candle does not close above it. Isn't that amazing? But those pierces mean that those levels are being boom, boom, Jackie Chan style, like Jack Nicholson with the axe and the Shining, just going, whoosh, cutting it right through until finally break and it pops. Now, in order for Ethereum to stay super bullish, it needs 3 days at least above overhead resistance. We have 1, we'll likely have 2, although this is ugly, but we need 1 more. And then Ethereum has to do the magic hat trick of staying and closing above $4,000. If it can do that, it's smooth sailing. Now, the benefit to this scenario actually playing out is that on the weekly, this is actually looking pretty decent. It's looking good. We also have resistance right here at 38.87. So there is strong resistance exactly where the price is trying to break above, but RSI is overbought. On balance volume is trending above the white moving average. However, the white moving average is only just now starting to angle up. We really want to see it angling up really hard like that. And of course, volume is outperforming the 30 SMA. Let me see what else. Do I have any opinions on the Japan carry trade? I wish I knew how to interpret that information better. The main thing for me is that I am an American living in Japan. So I often rely on USD and Japanese yen. So when I see the yen getting super weak which it has been. I mean, it looks amazing over here, but that's because the dollar has more purchasing power against the yen. It's not such a comforting feeling. However, a couple of interesting things. Again, this is just, I don't care about the Japan carry trade as far as the technicals of it. If we just look at the chart, and this is looking at FXCM exchange, okay? So it's maybe not the best exchange to use, but charts don't lie. If we look at weekly RSI, the main thing that I see is consecutively lower highs, and I see resistance. This works in my favor because I want this number to go way back down, not to parity exactly, but it would help. Because that's, I mean, when I take yen and I send it to the States, ooh, there's a premium of 50% on whatever I send over. It's pretty brutal. But the weekly time frame is the best time frame for us to figure out if there's a strong trend intact. We've seen many resets where it was strong bearish, strong bearish, strong bearish, and it's since moved up. But notice that this last push on RSI on the weekly, which is so important, didn't exceed our overbought levels. This to me is bearish, which is great because I want this number to go down personally. On balance volume is still trending up. I'm not showing the TBO on purpose because I want to show you free indicators that you don't need a subscription to, so that way you can see this for yourself. If we were just to make a really dirty ascending channel like this, this is a bearish flag, okay? You would expect this. As a trader, you would want this to break out to the upside. But the reality is that this is bearish. It will basically fall down here, it will test, and then it'll fall lower. Volume should drop off. There should be, hopefully, a drop off. Volume is increasing though, but I'm expecting it to fall. On the TBO on the daily time frame, it's a lot of chop city right now. It's not very pretty, to be honest, but I mean, this is a really very ugly chart for a currency pairing, okay? So in regards to if it's bullish or bearish, right now it's actually strong bearish because the price is below the cloud. We haven't seen a TBO open short, which is the pink one right here. We should see it happen soon, but my guess is that it's heading down back to 142 at least. That's my opinion. Again, just looking at the chart, but I don't trade Forex. Thanks for pushing the likes up. I appreciate it. And thanks for all the feedback. Oh, Life with Crypto asking lots more questions. That's fine. Do I do these live streams just for the TBT Club? I actually do a weekly market analysis video. It's about an hour long, and I talk about more stuff in a much more focused way because I don't have people asking me questions. But I do market updates a lot. I do a lot of other stuff too, like trade setups, watch lists, blah, 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 blah. Let's do VeChain. Daniel Wagner. I almost said Wagner. No, Wager. Daniel Wager. Danielle Wager. Daniel Wager. VeChain updated. Let's go. All right. I think Vet should be here. Yep. Cool beans. All right. Vet is on fire, which is good. Nothing wrong with this chart whatsoever. Super strong bullish. What do you notice that happened at the very beginning of this rally? TBO breakout. Was it a perfect 3 in a row? No, it's pretty ugly, to be honest. But this breakout did a pretty excellent job of calling this rally before it happened. So the obvious thing that's ahead of VeChain right now is this 618 Fibonacci retracement level. This is going to be considered to be golden resistance. It could still fly through it. I'm shocked at how quickly it just blew through the 0.5 fib level. Moving up 35%, or rather 25 and then 35%. That's pretty impressive, to be honest. That's a lot of volume too for this chart. Going to the weekly time frame. Yeah, it's overbought on the weekly. So gosh, 89.98 is amazing. Now, in order for things to stay super bullish for VeChain, it needs to exceed this level of 92, which is a tall order. Not impossible, but it really needs to push above that in order for it to stay super duper strong bullish, which I think it has a really good chance of doing that. I mean, everything just looks ridiculously good. Now, if you're someone that is looking for ways to get into a chart like this that's already pumped and you feel like, it's too late, but I really want to get into this, you don't need the TBO. You don't need TBT divergence. All you need is a moving average. So if we just do MA, we'll just do moving average. No, simple. We just need to keep it simple. We could change this to a lot longer. Like 9 is way too fast. 21 SMA. Whatever length you want it to be. You basically just look for times where it hits this and it bounces off. And you just do a little bit of back testing. The time frame will determine the level or the size of the bounce. But the idea is that you use this to find good entries on a super strong uptrend. And the longer the length is, then the stronger the trend is, right? If the trend is moving up and it's angling upward, this is also giving you confidence that, yes, you could have multiple ones, which is essentially what the TBO is. It's multiple moving averages of different types and lengths. But this is why this slow line is so important, because when the slow line is angling up, I have confidence to take an entry, and I'm not going to go all in on this chart right here. No way. No. Not because it's too high, but that's not how I do it. I'm going to be using DCA. I'm going to use 1/3. So my first order is going to be, we'll do number 1 is going to be 1/3. And the second order is going to be 2/3. So that way I have a total possible volume of 3/3. With the idea and the sole purpose that if there's a pullback, if Bitcoin drops 17% and VeChain drops twice that amount, it's going to drop 35%. Then on those panic dumps, I can use that extra volume 2 times my original order to DCA down. So instead of me entering here, if I have a DCA order here, and I'll make this a different color, then what happens is that this entry order, or like the base order size, whatever, like not base order size, sorry, I'm getting my terms mixed up because I'm excited. I'm trying to explain this quickly. My entry will get averaged down probably to about here, right about there. So that way when the price bounces, like it did exactly with Masa, like I showed you earlier, that's exactly what happened for me, which is great. So my bot was buying and buying and buying and buying. It bought right about here, and it had another order to buy literally right there. It was the perfect order. I can't change my windows in the middle of the stream because it'll be annoying. But that's exactly what happened on All Trading for me. And this is why I love automated trading. So that way when the chart pumped, done, close in profit, move on with my life. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. Okay. Oh yeah. Okay, I'm looking at what? Where's the source, James? Binance temporarily ran out of Tether 10 minutes ago? Is that an official bit of news from them? That's wild. Okay, where is that? I don't see anything on X about it. We're not following the same people. Latest. Come on. Nah, all I see is all those scam accounts and stuff saying like, this is my P&L because I'm amazing. I'm a legend. You gotta follow me. Buy what I buy before I, or actually after I buy it. Let's do one more. Cardano. I think that's a fair one to do, and then we'll call it good there. Got to go back up the list. Way up. All right. Let's reset this back to the 30-minute. Go over here. Okay. I mean, thoughts are on Cardano. If you're not sure about price action and you're worried or cautious, I mean, Cardano's at $1 now. DZ must be laughing his face off. That's all I think about whenever I see Cardano. DZ from Around the Blockchain is an awesome guy. But I mean, he was talking about Cardano way back here, and I was laughing at him secretly behind his face. I'm so sorry, DZ. You were 100% right. Actually, you were 234% right. The only thing that I don't like about this chart on the daily time frame is RSI. But this is the daily chart. It's been overbought for how many days? It's going on 8 bars. Yeah, that's an amazing W pattern. Look at that. That's hilarious. Okay, so perfect learning moment. All right. I was talking to you before about RSI. In order for things to remain bullish, what has to happen with RSI is that we need to exceed a previous high. It's hard to exceed a high at 93.39. Look at this. It slightly did, 93.60, but it really needs to push above higher in order for things to stay and remain bullish. Even though, and this is something that's really interesting too about RSI, the more you use it, the more you watch it, it's incredible. Even though RSI fell from here, down below our overbought level of 70, the price did fall a little bit. It actually moved up more. So buying the Pico top right here at $1.13, you actually would have walked away with 16% profit selling the top there. So the only thing I don't like about this is that we can see that RSI is falling on the daily, but that's normal. On the weekly, which matters the most, RSI is at 93. That's getting up to some scary high levels. Back here in December, it was up to 94.76. Again, all these sound like radio stations. 94.76. When we get up to some severe and crazy euphoria levels, February 2021, 97.21. So, I mean, this is getting up to some of these crazy market top high euphoria levels. Price isn't there anywhere close yet. And notice here, even when it topped out at, what is this, 97.21, it still shot up another 130%. So volume is just getting started. On balance volume is just curling up on the weekly. So long story short, Cardano, similar to the chart that I just looked at, and I can't remember what I just looked at. But if you're looking at this going like, I really want to get some Cardano, bots honestly would be the easiest way to do it. I have a video that I just put out, and I can't even remember when I did, or even if it's this channel. That's embarrassing. Now I'm getting mixed up all over the place. Let me go to my channel. Yes, this one. Okay, let me switch over here. So if you're looking at these majors, Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Link, Cardano, XLM, Dash, I know why it's there. It's just such a bad coin. Litecoin, this video, this newest one posted a day ago, this will help you a lot because the video is going to talk about how to leverage automated trading tools. It's going to give you everything you need to know in regards to how to use free signals to kill it, basically, to make a lot of money trading and to enjoy your life instead of looking at the screen and being panicked when you have these crazy pullbacks for BTC. Oh yeah, 1 minute left. How is the candle looking? That's really bad. Oh, 44, 43, 42, 41. All right. Thanks guys for hanging out with me today. Thanks again for liking the video. So I will continue to do this when I can. Hopefully it's not in these terrible situations like this because it's not super fun. But yeah. Oh, Flick Whipper. Yep. I'll check out Shadow. Yes. Shadow. Okay. I do want to check it because I feel really bad. I talked to my parents about buying Shadow on Coinbase because they're on Coinbase. And I was like, you guys should get Shadow. Yeah, of course it's pumping. Man. I saw this. I was like, Mom, you should really buy some Shadow. And I was back over here. It's like, I don't know. It's really close to support. I don't think it's such a good idea. She'd be up 150. I'm not going to show this chart to my mom. If you're watching, Mom, sorry. But again, new listings. Watch out. I have a video coming out. New listings. This is literally where you're going to make a ton of moolah this cycle. Absolutely crazy. Okay. Cool, man. All right. We are good for today. Thanks again for hanging out. And until the next time, you know what to do. Where are my buttons? There are my buttons. Awesome. Oh, and I should probably say, I'm so disorganized today. Like I said, I woke up early for a call. I don't know why this is up on the website still. This is silly. This is absolute silliness. But apparently, you can still save from our Black Friday sale that got extended. For the 15 Minutes Financial Freedom course, you learn about automated trading. It ends in 5 minutes. Good luck. But this is the place to get some training and some education before the bull market goes absolutely bananas crazy. The club is another great resource. I've talked about it a lot. This is what I'm doing right now today, is basically what I do in the Better Traders Club. A lot of fun stuff to check out there. Okay, that's enough of that. So again, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. And until the next time, you know what to do. Stay awesome and stay in the green. Peace.